This is like the
The county administrator.
Boy Scouts. Do we have anyone on public comment?
No, not yet.
I think we're ready to go if you gentlemen are ready. Let me call the roll first. At this point, are we on?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, I would like to welcome you all to the November 26, 2025 Penobscot County Commissioners Meeting. I will call the roll. Commissioner Trumbull. Here. Commissioner Marshall. Here. Mr. Treasurer. Here. And the chair is here. At this point, I would call on the treasurer to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda would be approval of the November 18th, 2025 meeting minutes. May I have a motion?
I move approval.
Thank you. Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
this point, we would open for public comment. We allow up to 3 minutes per individual on items that are not on our agenda. Is there anyone with us in the public that would like to make a comment this morning? Yes, sir. If you would be kind enough to come forward and introduce yourself.
Wayne Mallor, I live here in Bangor. I was curious this morning coming in the building, I noticed an amount of someone's belongings in the entryway, and I'm curious as to, do you allow people to leave there? You know, when there was a big box and a backpack and whatnot, and how do we know there's not a bomb in it? I'm just wondering what's going on with that.
Front door out here?
Yes,
Food, oh, it is food donations that apparently we are collecting for the food baskets.
okay, but I didn't see, it just looks strange to see all that.
I believe the building is secured at the entryway, so you have to buzz in. So you're allowing people to leave items in the entryway, Mary? And is that how?
We are, that's in the vestibule.
It's certainly a valid issue. We'll ask Sheriff what would be the protocols to address that.
Okay, it's not a big deal, but it's just, we're having more issues everywhere.
I understand completely. I appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Thank you.
Any others present that would like to provide public comment on items that are not on today's agenda? Do we still have no one? Okay, at this point, I will close our public comment section. I would invite our UT Director and Assistant to come forward for their portion of the agenda. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Pretty brief. We don't have a lot of stuff to discuss. Millinocket Marathon and a Half has been going on for several years now. We just need you to approve the permit. We've always had the county administrator sign, but we're kind of in limbo here for today at least. So we put my name on signing the permit.
Okay.
But we do need you to vote to approve to authorize their running the marathon and a half again out of the Millinocket area.
I would move approval as well as waiving the fee.
Okay.
Don't beat me to it. Also.
Thank you. I do have one question. Is this a revenue source for the marathon? Or for an entity in Millinocket?
No, not that I'm aware of. However, everybody in Millinocket, this thing draws huge crowds. And all businesses seem to gain quite a bit during this process. But I don't believe there's any revenue stream from the marathon people themselves.
Okay, so it's more of an economic development benefit to the area.
Yeah.
I mean, we've historically done that. I just feel that we need to be sensitive to
Yes.
any revenue streams for the county in the future. So we'll have any further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous of those present. Next item, new salt and sand
Before we
shed.
move down, we normally on that topic, on the marathon and a half, we waive the $50 application fee for the.
That was part of his motion.
Okay.
It was to waive it.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
You're way ahead of me.
Okay.
I
We're
missed
trying.
it. I missed it, thank you. The new salt sand shed we've been talking about now for close to a year, ever since Drew deorganized. The closest sand shed we have for the 8.5 miles of road that we plow and service in Drew, is not big enough to handle Drew, Prentice, and Kingman, and McGuahawk, because we work neighbors with McGuahawk. And our contractor plows and sands their roads, and we charge them a storage fee for their sand. They charge them for the sand. So we're not gonna have a big enough shed. For the last 2 years, we haven't had a big enough shed, so we've had to pile material untreated outside and then move it in the dead of winter. And it's not, economically, it's not working very well. We've had to do it for 2 years. And so we proposed building on the land we own, the county UT owns, right beside the fire station in Kingman. We proposed building a small sand shed and break that big plow contract into 2 small ones. It gives us a bigger opportunity for other contractors to take part. Because right now you need 3 full-time trucks and a spare truck. And that's really a big job for a lot of people. So if we break it in half, I think we get some more contractors bidding on it when it comes up next year. So what we've done this summer, and it's taken us all summer to do, and we just got it finished last week, was we had to identify the site where we could build it. Where could we legally build it? Where it fit LUPC, Land Use Planning Commission rules, and where it didn't interrupt any vernal pools. So we had to have the soils done, the water's done, we had to pay for all those soil tests, and we've identified a spot to build it. So all we've done so far, at this point, we got about $3,600 invested in engineering to identify where we could build it legitimately. We've done that. Our next step would be to design the building. Rough conversations with Plymouth Engineering, who helped us with the site plan. They're talking about, in order to fit 1,200 yards in there, we need somewhere around a 50 by 75 building. And at today's building costs, they're looking at $240 to $260 a square foot. So you're looking at over $900,000 to build that building. We weren't prepared for that. We have some money put aside in escrow, but nowhere near enough. We planned on using a little bit of the TIF money because it is an identified source in the TIF district. But from here forward, I'm just not looking for any approval to start the building design. That's another $4,500 to $4,800 to engineer the building design. I'm looking to go talk to a couple of contractors who build these sheds on a routine basis and find out how we could design them and build them differently, that we might save ourselves $100,000 somewhere. So I'm just letting you know that we do have a site plan, paid for and approved, but we haven't done any more than that with it. So we've got a lot of work to do to identify how can we build it different and still get the type of building we need.
Have you ever been by the docking area down in Portland and seen those?
Oh, yes, I've
Rubber
seen the docks
buildings?
where they got those plastic or rubber buildings, whatever they
Yeah,
have.
I
I've seen
believe
those.
there's a company in southern Maine that makes something like that. I've been in a number of facilities. I think they're called RUBB, RHUBB. It may be under a different name.
I have plans for those on my desk that I got through the DOT. So
Okay.
by working with Peter Coughlin at the DOT, I've identified all the new ways they've been building in the last 5 or 6 years, but I haven't gone to those people and talked.
Sure.
So today's was just an informational meeting to let you know that we're not spending any more money on engineering until we find a building we'd like to try to build.
Great.
How much is in reserve for that?
I've got 108,000 in escrow, and we were playing with a number of another 300,000 or 400,000 out of TIF, but I don't think it's gonna come close. So we gotta be careful if we build, what we build.
These are not a heated facility, but they
No.
have to be protected from the elements and have the roll-up doors so you can get your equipment in.
The town of Drew, we own, as a county, we own about 1/4 of an acre of land up there where they used to have their salt pile. Because of liability reasons, we don't want to build there. There isn't room enough to build on that 1/4 of an acre, and the salt pile already has some ground contamination, so we don't want to add to that. So it's not a piece of property we could sell without telling somebody else a liability. According to the DEP, whoever owns it's liable for what happens in the future. So nobody's going to be interested in buying that property off us. I've talked to the neighboring landowner, and if we sign off on the liability, he's buying, but it's got no value.
Understood.
So we're going to build a facility undercover.
Are there programs through DEP that you're aware of that could help mitigate any
We've
contamination?
been working with the DEP on that since we took over Drew, to find out what you could do there, and we haven't resolved anything yet. There isn't really much we could do. It would be massively expensive to clean all the salt up out of there, because, salt migrates, so it would be difficult. But there's no homes anywhere near it, no wells anywhere near it, so we're safe for quite a while.
Well, thank you. So no action today on that, just
No action, just an update for you guys to know that we're still working to try and identify a building that we can afford.
Question?
Yes, please.
So you're open to the rub style fabric building and not just?
I
the
am
stick
once I
build?
learn more about longevity. Yeah,
They have a very good track record.
they do?
Yeah, and they'd be happy to come up and check.
Okay, so you've
I
experienced
have
with
not
them?
talked to them recently, but I've had business with them before. Looked very hard at using their building instead of one we built, which was over $900,000.
Yeah.
Theirs would have been considerably cheaper.
Well, that's the information we're looking for, is stuff like
We
that.
built a 120 by 85, so pretty much.
Yeah. We've got 6 salt sand sheds in the county, in the UT that we maintain now, so I hate to put another one out there to maintain. We looked at growing the current one we have, adding to it, so we could fit the sand underneath it, but it's so far from the roads in Kingman that it just adds to the cost of the plowing contract. So we're hoping to reduce some costs over time.
The nice part about the rub building is you can pick it up and move it if you need to, decade down the road. And if a piece of equipment punches a hole in it, it can be fixed. It's not like a hole in the window.
I've been in several facilities. There's a sports complex in Waterville that uses that.
Yep.
There's a number of large facilities down on the docks in Portland. It seems to be, and I've seen them nationally too, it's not just in Maine, but it is nice to know that there's a local company that could provide that level of maintenance if necessary.
Well, that's our job over the winter, is to identify a better building that fits our needs.
But you have Rub's contact information
I
because you
do,
have.
from the DOT.
Yeah, super. Thank you, George. ACO?
Our regional animal control officer, it's annual time to renew all of our contracts with our 17 towns that we work with. We're looking at, she's currently at $17.75 an hour, and we're looking at somewhere around a 3% increase, we give her $18.25 an hour.
And this is the individual we supplied the
The vehicle to.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's, that, we charge the towns 57 cents a mile for her efforts. And we haven't increased that in a very long time. But I know that's the standard that the county lives by now. And so until the county reviews what you're gonna pay back for personal mileage, it will be, this contract will have another 57 cents a mile in it until we review as a county what we wanna do.
And I think we generally align with the federal allowances for mileage.
State, I think.
State.
Yeah, not near the
One and
federal.
the same.
I think they generally are, but if you might just have somebody, maybe, if there was somebody from finance here that knew that, maybe they could assist you in updating the commission so we can vote on that.
And George, that's for personal vehicles, right?
Yeah, paying back for personal
Do
mileage.
any animal control officers have their own, have county vehicles that you're aware of anyway?
Yeah, Hancock County has a regional animal control officer that has.
All others are personal vehicles?
Yeah.
I think Lincoln County may run theirs through the sheriff's department too, so they may be providing.
They may
a vehicle. I met the lady when I was down there a few months ago. They have one person that covers almost all of Lincoln County's community.
We have 2 other animal control officers, and they get paid personal mileage, use their personal vehicle. They're not covering anywhere
How
in
does,
town.
how does our ACO interact with municipal ACO?
Very well, so far. Yeah, they coordinate back and forth. If one of the organized towns has an ACO that they pay and they go on vacation, they'll hire us. Like right now, Howland and Enfield, we don't do them full-time, we only do that when they're ACO.
Is there a remuneration involved in that? Or is it just a courtesy?
It's a contract we have with them.
All right.
So they pay time and mileage.
All right.
Only when we put in time and mileage.
Right.
There's no stipend.
Is this for next calendar year, this contract? with the
Yeah, it's,
ACO?
the ACO contract's all calendar year, so.
I would move when we approve this with the rate adjustment 1825.
Okay, we have a motion to increase the ACO pay as recommended by the UT director,
1825, I'll second.
1875.
No,
1825.
1825, 1775 right now, right?
Got me correct. 1825 from 1775.
It's a 50-cent
Yes.
increase. Okay.
All right,
I second.
I have a motion and a second, further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous.
Just for discussion purposes, we've been charging for many years now 3% administration fee on top of the mileage and hourly rate. I don't think this is a good year to increase our administrative fee to our towns, but we ought to review that in the future.
Yeah, maybe we can put that on the list for the budget advisory and strategic plan to look at fees. That would be administrative fees to the communities.
I don't think this would be a very good year to ask for another increase in.
Understood. And then there's also the mileage question, which I think Brenda's here, so she's aware of our interest.
Administrative fees to UTs only.
This would be administrative fees that we would assess to communities for services provided to them. So right now, we're talking about animal control,
Yeah.
but we should probably inventory other services where we may collaborate with communities.
So not necessarily just UTs.
Any other comments or questions on that?
The ambulance contract we talked about last week, I went back to the director of the Patton Ambulance. His select board has told him that no more multi-year contracts until things iron out cost and expense wise. So we're only gonna get the 1-year contract, so it's at $30,000.
Well, everybody's kind of skittish on that issue right now until prices stabilize. You know,
Exactly.
everybody's nervous because they don't want to get stuck holding a
Multi-year contract, a 2 or 3-year contract, and then have things change again.
Yeah, but you approved the 1 year, right? You just said go see if we can do longer than.
Right, you approved the 1 year. You didn't,
This is an update.
yeah,
We had asked.
January 1 to the December 31st of next year, right?
right.
Just to make it simpler and more contiguous. I think
We keep asking for multi-year contracts. It's getting harder to get those.
Yeah.
And Hammond Ridge is just an update where, as you remember, that Matt Polstein from New England Outdoor Center has applied for permitting of a very large development up there, adding on to his complex. So we met with Matt some months ago and his lawyers, and we're trying to come up with if a tax increment finance program is even feasible for this project. And this is the second meeting and the second step in a long process. We don't know if, we know that the whole project cannot be tax increment financed. Parts and pieces of it are residential and therefore don't fit the program. However, there are commercial aspects of the development that we can do some kind of a TIF program with, but at what financing value and how much work and what cost is it going to be. So we're going to identify what it's going to cost us to get this program off the ground, and then find out if and how much it might be to benefit us through the tax increment finance program.
And our attorneys are working with their attorneys on iron out these.
Iron out the cost and the feasibility. Yeah, and so I just want to let you know, we'll meet at Redmond and Winchell on the 2nd.
Is that down here, George?
I think it's on your agenda, but I don't think you have it in your schedule, do you? December 2nd
At their,
at 1:30 at Redmond and Winchell.
at their Bangor office.
Yes,
Oh, that's right here in Bangor, right?
you're all welcome. It'll be fun to learn what
About
we
2 days
can.
in a row.
No,
But we're gonna be here on the 3rd. The commission.
it's just an information to let you guys know where we're at on that process.
Yeah.
It may not even make sense to have a TIF district up there, we don't know yet. So this is a big step. That's all we had.
Okay,
Except for
questions from the
one thing
commission?
that came in very late in the week, I forgot to tell you about. I mentioned it at our department head meeting, but officially, the town of Maxfield is gonna take a deorganization vote on December 15th. So Commissioner Marson and I are planning on attending. That, and if they vote to deorganize, it's a long process. It could be a year and a half before they get to that point. So we'll keep it posted. But they haven't voted yet. We went through this last fall with Webster, and they voted not to deorganize, so it could still fall apart. But just an informational note.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, thank you. Have a great day,
You too, happy Thanksgiving.
and to you as well. Next up is Winnie Dana, opioid advisory committee discussion. Good morning.
Welcome back.
I haven't met you yet. I'm Wendy Dana.
Thank you.
Pleasure. What's your name?
Gary Lamb,
Gary.
just like the furry little critter.
Okay. Not as furry. Hello.
Hello, so tell us what you have to share this morning.
Oh, I gotta change my glasses.
Okay.
All right. And Ryan, is Jamie on?
Yes, she is.
Oh,
Okay.
lovely. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do you want to kick us off, or would you like me to?
This is the chair for the opioid advisory committee, Jamie Beck.
Oh, Jamie, oh.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for allowing us to come back and talk with you all this morning. I appreciate being able to come in by Zoom. I've got a turkey in the oven. I just wanted to say again, thank you for the opportunity to continue to serve on this committee. We have received all of the applications, and the application process did close on the 15th. We received 33 in total, and those have been divvied up amongst the committee members. Each application is going to be scored by 3 of us, and we'll take an average of the scores and talk about how that all shakes out once we're done with our scoring, which we anticipate to be by December 10th, so that we can have our collective meeting on the 17th and have a recommendation to you before Christmas. So
Thank you.
that is our current strategy plan for being able to get this done as quickly and as well as possible. We have learned many things along the way through this application process, mostly that we want to have a different software platform for any future application processes that we would be helping out with. This one ended up being a little bit more cumbersome than we all wanted it to be, and we're going to work those kinks out for sure. Wendy, did you have anything else you wanted to add about any of that?
No, I think it went really well. There is going to be some collaboration with the city as well, and I did encourage.
City of Bangor.
Yeah. And you threw me.
Sorry about that.
So to me, the city of San Francisco. The city of Bangor, yes. So I have sent a template over to Carolyn, who is the city manager, so that was the one that we used for ARPA. And whenever they're ready, we'll go through it and look at anyone that has applied to both. And so far, we have quite a few, some of the folks we know of, that we've worked with in the past doing recovery, and some that are new to me that I haven't heard of. So it'll be nice to see. I just started reading through the applications, and then I'll go back through it again. But it'll be nice to see what kind of projects they're going to be putting forward for this.
Wendy, we're looking at, is it December 17th, you're going to make your recommendation to the commission on our meeting on the 17th, December 17th? Is that right?
Well, let's see.
No.
It's the 23rd, was it, or?
Correct. So our committee is going to be meeting on the 17th so that we can have our conversation. And then from that meeting, we will be able to give what we've come up with for our recommendations to include in your packets for the following week.
Okay, and on the 23rd, after you've made your recommendation, what do you envision? Are we going to be in a position to vote on these at that point on the 23rd? Is that what you're envisioning?
We're hoping so. Yes, we're hoping to be able to give you our recommendation for, with the $400,000 available, these are the projects that we're recommending for award, and we would be looking to you to approve them at that point.
Okay, great. Okay, wonderful. And do we know how many there are right now?
33.
33.
You had mentioned, Jamie, that you had divided those to 3 members of the committee. Do we still have a 4th member from the recovery community? I believe we appointed a 4th member, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. So actually there are 6 of us on the committee total, and all 6 of us are going to be doing the scoring for the entirety of these applications, but each application will only have 3 of us scoring it, just so that we're not each having to do 33 applications. That's a lot to try and accomplish and do well to review in a short amount of time. So each application will have 3 scorers. So each of us are doing either 16 or 17 applications total.
So you've developed an internal scoring process that you are going to present at that time?
Yes. So when we were working with the Moss Center, they came up with and presented to us, and we went through and solidified using their template scoring rubric. So there are 10 different categories with which we're going to review each one of the applications. And I not sure if that made it into your packet, but we're happy to send that along. But of course, there are things on there like, did they follow the directions of the application? Looking at the lead organization's description and project personnel, looking at the project description, the goal areas, the rationale and the data to support the need for the project, looking at the timeline, feasibility, sustainability, that kind of thing, and the scope of the work. So these are pretty objective measures that we're going to be looking at. And again, this is a template that the Moss Center has come up with, and other entities who've worked with the Moss Center to score these kinds of RFPs for opioid settlement funding have used a very similar process.
Okay.
And we do use the Moss Group for, we use them for PREA. They were really helpful with working with the Department of Justice when they came out for the mental health grant. So they really do work with a lot of different government entities. So they have a good background.
So when we approve those applicants, or some of those applicants on that day, what do we, what timeframe are we doing? I mean, that'd be a great Christmas present. I mean, it's on the 23rd. When would we anticipate checks getting into the hands of the applicants?
Well, I think from my perspective, just myself, we would follow a similar course that we did with the ARPA money, and we would not just write blanket checks to everyone if there were capital projects or some level. Is that how you kind of envision this one?
So like a pay down type scenario?
To be honest, this is such a small amount of money. You know what I mean? This is not a drawdown process, because this is, you know, up to or right under 50 grand. So it would really be like when you gentlemen did the Commissioner's Fund, right?
Yeah.
The Commissioner's Fund is it's not a large amount, so we don't need to do a drawdown process. Obviously, we're going to want to know, okay, when is the project in mind? When are you able to kick it off? What does it involve? Some of these are going to be small amounts, so no, we would not, you know, if they're like $10,000 or something. But I would say that, yeah, we want to, the way that I'm looking at this logically and knowing how we worked with ARPA is, yes, we will be able to give you the applications that we want to put forward for you to consider. I know it's going to take time for you to look at the applications, and you're going to have questions, I would think. So I'm not trying to poo-poo it being fast. I'm just saying logically, it's going to take a little bit of time for you to go through them and decide what you want, you know, how you feel about it. So, and obviously, you know, we know what we're doing, I would hope. So we're not willy-nilly picking people.
You've got a pretty good track record with us, Wendy.
Yeah, right. And so do the people on the council. I mean, look at like Pat Kimball, you know, like there's folks that work with larger entities. So my guess would be that this is not something that we want to take weeks brewing over, you know, and yes, they are going to need this funding. And if some of them need it for warming shelters, I would say sooner rather than later.
Well, that's
you know?
what I'm thinking. I think get it out the door.
Absolutely.
Because it's not, well, these are all going to be, these are all under 50, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So, and the only time it would be more, still wouldn't be more than 50, is if we collaborated on something with the city. So, and they should have, you know, their decisions out pretty soon as well as us.
Do we only
So.
collaborate with Bangor? What about Brewer?
I don't believe they
Brewer
were.
didn't actually get any opioid settlement funds. The only other local entity who did was Old Orono, and I believe they've already allocated all of their funds that they have currently.
They allocated it.
They did, and they're so small, to be honest. Like, I've tried to reach out before on stuff, and it's just not very significant. So I know that they have whatever,
I don't want to
plans.
snub anybody else and just
Yeah, of course.
conclusion.
But they also don't have like the service requests that Bangor does.
Right,
you know,
right. No,
so-
I understand that.
Yeah.
This is the ground zero for services for the
Sure.
county. I understand that.
I think where this is a new experience for both the opioid advisory committee and the commission, we certainly want to understand the scope of what we're doing. And personally, my takeaway is that whatever we do to collaborate and assure that this is not a one-time hit, that we're developing some level of plan for how this money could be applied, because I think we're all cognizant of the fact that the amount we have will not solve the problem, but wherever it can be multiplied in its effectiveness. And of course, it is incumbent on us to reflect on what it means to the county and our correctional facilities and their needs before we commit to long-term plans that could absorb all of the remaining money.
Well, and I want people to realize too that are listening online or out there that this is not a lot of money. You know, unfortunately, I wish we had millions and millions given to us, but you know, per year, we're only looking at, which may sound like a lot to some, but to actually affect change, we only are going to be seeing about, you know, between 200 and 300,000 per year, and it just trickles down. So we really want to take advantage of what we can as far as, you know, the amount of money that we are seeing and making it be useful. But, you know, we can only do so much with what we have.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I think the other factor I would just ask through consideration is that you coordinate with the finance director in terms of when these payments would go
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. Right.
26.
Yes. Okay. The treasurer has some thoughts on that I'm sure he and the finance director will work with you on.
Yes, that's good. Now, because I have you here, and I don't want to scurry off too fast, Jamie had presented some paperwork that we had put in your binder for you to have a look at. And this is the request for strategic guidance, so it's going forward, and it's, Jamie, do you have it in front of you?
Yes, I do.
You can take it away if you'd like, but I just want to make sure we
If I
get
may
these.
beforehand, have we had a chance as the commissioners to
No.
look at this?
I haven't seen this.
Okay, I think out of respect, there were a number of questions. It appears that these were reduced to about 4.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yes.
prepared to give answers today on all of these questions.
You were or aren't?
I am not.
You are not, okay. So
I think-
when are you, do you think, going to be able to have a look at them?
I think we need to have that discussion before we put a
Okay.
date. I understand the committee's desire to do this, but we're looking at a first round that we've not had a lot of experience. While we've done things through the Commissioners Fund, there are some obligations with the opioid money which are different. And we've not yet had a chance for the sheriff to weigh in long-term on what some of his needs and plans are. We know that we're not getting $4 million at this point for MAT funding in the 27-28 budget.
Oh, yes, certainly not, right.
So that, based upon the need for MAT services in the jail that could use opioid money to supplement that loss, needs to be reflected on. So there's a couple unanswered questions in my mind before we can give you clear guidance on this.
So real quick, I'm just gonna say that, just to put a bug in your ear on it, so the first one, when it talks about the total amount that we have, so I'm gonna pull out a quickie.
Okay?
Put in your mind what you wanna do for round 2, as far as, is it gonna be the same amount, is it gonna be less or more?
Okay?
For the second one, we do have the MAT question, and we know that it's not going to be funded as it has in the past. So we had reached out to Sheriff Morton to find out what it looks like his budget might be as far as what he's going to need. So I think before we had talked about it was like 25,000 a year or something like that, but that was not already taken care of by the state. So we'll get a better number on that from him before you have to even consider that. We'll ask, I'm gonna put down, we're gonna ask the sheriff about that. So regarding the collaboration, we did touch on that a little bit of working with the city. And it was so nice to be able to actually work with them before, because I already do have some idea of how we worked it. So thankfully, this is not going to be like something new that we do.
Can I interject for just a second?
Sure.
I think that this is kind of the crux of all of the questions of once we've completed this first round of RFPs and we've made our recommendations to you, and that $400,000 that was the sum total of the first round, at least personally, I would love to have a little bit more guidance and understanding around how much we are able to collaborate with the city of Bangor, knowing that obviously we are having funding coming in continually until 2036, as are they. And is there a desire and a possibility for our committee and the City of Bangor's committee to actually dig into specific gaps within the community rather than putting out general RFP for anything that might fall under Exhibit E, which is kind of the scope of where we were asking people to put in projects in. So if we're able to collaborate and designate, okay, we're going to maybe do a specific RFP for, just as a random example, recovery residences, or we're going to have an RFP for doing treatment post detox, so that it's not the entire scope and we're sprinkling money across an entire space, that every piece of this is needed, but really working with the city to identify what are the most critical needs that this money can have the most impact on. And what amount of money would we be allowed to kind of bring to the table for that conversation? That's at least my thought process moving forward, because I know that what we're going to be able to help allocate out right now for this 400,000 is going to be really helpful for those organizations, but it would be really important for the county, for the region, for Bangor, for everybody, if we can do some really strategic, thoughtful planning around, can we put this money to the best use, focusing on one or two larger projects that are going to take a little bit more money, but the impact is going to be so much more significant. I hope that that kind of background helps in where we're kind of going with these questions.
Thank you.
And I will say, like, something that is really in my mind is, you know, the city, no offense to anybody in the city, but the city got their money, right? This is the county's money. We are not throwing all of this, I mean, I'm saying that just out there, but yes, this Bangor is a service area, but there are so many places that are out in the county that need help. So we are being really careful when we're going through the applications too, to make sure that we are taking care of our county as well. So we're not saying that we're trying to push all this money into Bangor, because we have a county to think of. So that's really, you know, something that I would like to concentrate on as well. And I'm sure, obviously you do too, that this is really important. Collaboration is important for the bigger amounts, but we do need to make sure that we are really like focused on the
Yeah,
county.
I represent the 40,000 people north of Bangor, so we have needs up there. I'm interested in working with in a collaborative effort with the city of Bangor. But I have groups up there that I'm going to be looking to take care of, making sure that they have a piece of the pie to address the problem that we are having in the hinterland. So it's not going to be to the exclusion of these other groups. I can guarantee that right now.
And I just want the public to know that too. Like, this is something that we are very cognizant of, that there are issues out in, you know, in our county. So we will be taking care of that.
And as a
My
representative,
apologies if that's how it came across. I apologize if that's how it came across. That wasn't my intention. Obviously, yes, the entire county is important to be in consideration of, and making sure that we do spread the resources out.
and I appreciate you recognizing that as the representative of 50,000 people south of Bangor that don't have access to any other funding mechanisms, that we are more holistic. And I think there's a balance there because clearly, as many of us recognize, the city of Bangor has either voluntarily or involuntarily become the resource center for many of these type of things. So even though it may be Bangor that serves it, they're many times being required to serve people who are not long-term residents of Bangor. So I think there's a balance there, and I appreciate the committee recognizing that, and you certainly communicating and maybe one of the things you look at in the future is there a segregation of funds that go to communities or organizations that serve the needs outside of the urban centers?
Right.
I wouldn't just pick on Bangor. I think that there are other communities here, like Brewer and maybe Orono Old Town, because of the services they provide that also fall into that mix. But it's a healthy dynamic, and I personally, I don't want to speak for the commission, but personally, I think that's why when we get through this first round, we're going to be better prepared to answer some of these questions, which are clearly thoughtful and important for the long-term aspect of this. But I don't think today we have enough data to answer all these questions.
That sounds good to me and reasonable. Yeah, so we'll pick it up again next time.
Great.
Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
You as well.
Yeah, I hope you have
Appreciate
a
the
wonderful
extra
time
work
with your families.
you have done here for the committee. And Jamie, thank you, and we wish you a very nice and successful event with that turkey you have in the oven.
Yes, thank you very much. If anybody's hungry at noon, come on down to the Together Place for Friendsgiving.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
At this point, I believe our HR director will be joining us via Zoom. Good day.
Good morning. So I have just a couple of things on the agenda today.
Sure.
Last meeting, we approved the Christmas Eve hours of operation, and I forgot about some of the contracts. Some of the contracts close, they have the day off starting at noon, and that's what we have done historically in the past as well. And I gave you all the time of 2 p.m., so we would just need to clarify that to be 12 o'clock on Christmas Eve.
Any objection to clarifying that?
No, I would move because I think my motion was actually what we had traditionally done, and I thought that's what it was. So whatever we do is what we've traditionally done, that's.
Yes, I believe that was the motion. I just wanted you to be aware that the time that we announced in the last meeting, I mistook.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. You're okay with that, Commissioner? Yep. So we have consent of the commission to do as we have traditionally done according to the vote that was taken and the terms of any contract.
Then the second item I have for you is the approval of the 2026 holiday calendar. It is the same as we do every year. It's just a normal business item for you all to approve. And I believe Marianne put that in your packet.
Yeah, that would be doing, yeah. I would move approval of the 2026 holiday calendar.
Yep.
Second.
So it is approval of the 2026 holiday calendar as it aligns with our prior calendar. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you. And then I have one last item for you that I don't believe you need to have a motion on. We obviously, as you know, have a new insurance broker, Cross Insurance Agency. And as part of that partnership, we have decided to pay them through the county AP versus having those fees stuck into the premiums. In order for them to bill us, they've given you a contract that they need you to sign, all three of you, that allows them to bill us directly. And I believe Gary or Mary Ann have that for you. I don't think it needs a motion because it's simply just part of the approval of their partnership with us, but that's up to you if you want to have a motion.
Well, just a question, why would we do it this way rather than do it as part of the premium? Because we basically got a significant reduction because we took that payment that we used to, the insurance broker used to get, and it was taken out. That's why we got the reduction. So
Why wouldn't we include this in the premium?
It allows, yeah, I think it just allows us more transparency to how much they're getting paid every year, whereas in the past, we really didn't know unless we wanted to dig in. And this way, even if the insurance premiums increase, it doesn't mean that their payment will increase.
So we won't know, but we're paying it, when it's in the premium, we don't pay the whole thing. Now we're paying, the county pays the whole thing.
Well, it's
Correct, I
hidden.
think,
It's hidden.
I think I
The
understand what you're
employee
saying.
pays a part of it.
That's why we got in the situation we're in.
However, the new terms of our health insurance contract has eliminated these, if I'm not mistaken, it's eliminated the payment by the single coverage employees. So there is no payment that the employees would be paying in this case unless we, in the future, want to renegotiate. The fee to the county for the portion of health insurance has also decreased.
How many things, I mean, most our family, how many, is the majority families on our coverage?
I can't answer that. I don't know if you have that information.
I mean, how much we talk, what's the pay, how much we paying the broker, how much we talking?
It's in your budget book. If you look at it, it's a new line item under HR. I believe it's about
I know, it's
16.
on our budget book, yeah, that's why I was asking, don't we?
Okay.
yeah, as far as the enrollments go, space between single coverage, employee, child, and then family coverage, pretty evenly overall. I do
So
get
what
what you're
are
saying
you paying the broker, how much is the broker fee?
from the previous broker.
You can have to pull up the HR part in your budget book and answer that
Surprise.
question for Commissioner Trumbull.
Yeah, the previous broker was almost $196,000
Talking about next year.
I think.
for next year.
What you're getting is a reference to what we were paying, which was a commission to the prior broker, which was also subject to increases based upon what the
So that
premium
money
increase.
we're gonna use to pay for this assist HR.
Correct. Gary, what do you have in the budget book, please?
I've got in here under broker fee, 67,200.
Okay,
So it's down 180 to 67?
Correct, and that will stay a flat fee for the first 3 years of this contract.
We're not saving that, we're spending that money on assist.
Yeah, but before it wasn't, it was hidden, we didn't even know what we were paying. So that's the good, that's the,
Right.
I just clarify.
Bring it out.
Yeah,
So-
I would agree with Commissioner Marshall. We didn't know what we were paying before. And yes, to Commissioner Trumbull's point, that expense was semi-shared with employees that had certain premium payments that they paid. But it's so hard to figure out how much of that 196,000 was being paid and shared with employees' shares of their premiums.
this was a decision we voted on this year.
Correct.
So we don't need, what was the, why was this, we don't need to vote, we already voted, well, you're just telling us what?
We have to sign the contract.
Oh, just the
You've signed.
contract, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're clear, you did vote on this.
Right, I was just wondering why we made that change again, why are we getting updated on this today?
I do think it will see in the future.
You're a
That
bit
needs to-
garbled, Tony, we can't hear you. You're garbled.
I think we can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I think it'll just give us more transparency to start with, and certainly in the next several months, if we think we want to look at that again, we can change this at any time.
Okay,
I just advise the commission, we're dealing with issues here that we have taken votes on. While this is a clarification, it's a different manner in which we are carrying this both on the budget and how we're operating, which provides a level of transparency when it comes to future expenses related to employees and benefits. Anything else, Tony?
That is all I have.
Thank you. Hope you have a
Thank you.
wonderful Thanksgiving.
And we've already signed
You as well.
We have.
right, we signed the contract, just about how it's getting paid.
Understood.
Yeah.
Next item would be administrative. Administrator Lamb, thank you for being with us today. Do you have some items you'd like to cover?
Well, looking forward to the December 11th budget meeting. Advisory committee will be back here. Hopefully a decision will be made in that whole process.
Just to clarify, this is actually the budget committee. The advisory group is going to potentially be a different configuration that would include some town administrators.
So that meeting on the 11th is with the same attendees?
That's correct, that's the budget committee.
Budget
Yeah.
committee.
Okay.
Thank you.
For some interest.
That's okay, we're all learning here.
And general update, I've met with most all the staff, not all, but I appreciate the meeting that was held this past Monday, more for my benefit than theirs, for explaining everybody's tasks. So I think that's going along well. And I'm pleased to let the commissioners know that Tony has given me 31 resumes for the administrator's position. And I strongly recommend, after looking at those quickly, that you folks pick a date at your convenience to start the interview process.
So, Tia, would you say with what we're getting, it wouldn't be necessary for the county to hire a consultant to help us through? We've got a pretty good group.
My answer to that is Tony and I can do this prep work.
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
No, that's what it's been sounding like.
Yeah, we have received several inquiries from groups that provide that service, but
Yep.
is it the will of the commission now to proceed as we are and not engage with somebody?
I think at this point, if we find we're not making the progress we thought we would, maybe at that point we can change direction.
I concur.
Okay, thank you.
Well, we got Gary, I got a question.
Sure.
And Brenda's here, but we got an email from Brian about some of the capital projects going on and payment for those. I mean, I'm just curious, we're still in this budget year, where if we should, if it makes sense for us to stop any capital projects going on until we get a better handle on where we are with the cash flow, where we are, saying if we're in a position to keep going with these projects.
So Brenda, would you and the treasurer be prepared today to do that, or would you prefer to wait and provide a report to us on the 11th, or maybe the 3rd?
October 3rd.
Yeah,
Third?
we need
Third?
to include Brian this third.
I think that would be helpful so that we could summarize that. I recognize that there are some concerns based upon what has been communicated, but I think it would be appropriate to get those numbers in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, I did do a rough schedule just based on the ARPA funds, what's available and what Brian has listed out for projects. But we probably should speak to him about the details of all those projects. I don't really have insight into that.
Thank you.
So,
I haven't had the opportunity to talk with Brian either.
Okay. I think it is helpful as we get to the latter part of the year where we've had some changes in leadership and finance positions to give them time to put a year-end report together for us. So if you think you can do that by the 3rd?
yeah, I mean, I think I have a good start on it and we just need to, find out.
Great.
And good news, we did get our jail money in for the third quarter finally, so yay.
Good.
It helps.
Would it be appropriate to give a little bit of a summary to the budget committee on the 11th?
We could, yeah,
Okay.
like I did last week.
Yep. Okay. Is that good for everyone?
Yeah, sure. We'll get it on the 3rd and refer it on the 11th. I can write something up.
Great. I think the clearer we are, the more comfort people will have. It is a significant year, and I think the committee's doing their diligence to try and help us find savings, but in fairness to our department heads, that message went out, and many of them were very cognizant of the concerns, both in terms of next year's budget and cash flow. So I think once we get through the 11th and get this settled, we'll be fine. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll still be within a time frame to appropriately have the public hearing and get this done if we conclude the budget on the 11th.
Yeah,
Hope so, or we know so.
I don't know, it's a process.
But we do have to have a public hearing.
You're right.
And we have that scheduled, I think, for the latter meeting of December. Maybe we can have a report back on the 3rd to just clarify that.
One thing I want to add about the budget, while we're talking, because a lot of, I think, county employees might watch these meetings, or they might not watch the budget meeting. And if you look at all the departments within the budget, we're not in this situation because of anything the county employees have done. They've done a great job. These budgets by each department are very reasonable.
We're in this situation for one reason, because the county jail cap was not funded since 2021. And then all of a sudden, we've got a huge $4 million gap that we've got to make up for 1 year. That's what's created this problem, not anything that's gone on within the county departments. Everybody's doing a great job. Budgets are very reasonable this year, most departments, I think by the 3% increase. So we're here for one reason, in this situation for one reason, and we've got to unfortunately fix it this year.
I would concur with you except for one point. I've gone back through and read the minutes from the budget committee meetings since 2015. It has not just occurred since 2021. We have had a budget challenge with the jail for over 10 years.
And we've only had an unfunded jail cap since 2021.
That's not correct. If you go back and listen to the former administrator, the first administrator, he made comments about the shortfall. The benefit was that the state was providing supplemental funding, and the other jails recognizing the dilemma that Penobscot was in because we had not addressed the shortage of space in the antiquated facility before now. They gave us the lion's share of that supplemental money that helped us.
There's a shortfall that we got funding for it, exactly, so it wasn't unfunded, it was funded. Since 2021, we haven't got the funding.
That is correct. The state has flat funded us since 21, and the costs have gone up significantly. But to say that this is a new problem that has arisen does not recognize that the budget committee and the commission was provided information for over 10 years that we had a funding problem for the county jail.
I disagree.
Okay.
Since 2021 is when we have not had the money, and we've had this budget gap that has not been funded by the county.
That's your
It was
opinion.
funded by the state before that. There was a gap that they came through with it.
They did not fully come through. If you look at some of these issues that, I don't want to get into a debate now, but I think
I'll be the arbitrator, I'll let you two do it, we'll take a look at it. We'll find the thing in there somewhere.
anything else that you might have, Gary?
No, thank you.
What about the 11th? The meeting, are we
2 o'clock?
prepared to have a meeting to discuss some issues and cover some items that relate to contract matters? Have we determined that we're going to meet on the 11th prior to the budget meeting?
Oh, we'd already meet on the 10th.
That was my understanding.
Works on the 11th?
Yeah.
On the 11th, yeah, we're gonna meet before, the budget committee meets at 5, so it would make sense to meet maybe 2 o'clock at the commission to conduct our business then. Because we're gonna be in,
Oh, you guys are.
Maine County Commission Association.
On the 10th. So the meeting of the 10th has been postponed because of the MCCA meeting
Yeah, I'll be traveling, but
on the 10th.
on the 10th, I'll be coming back, yeah.
So for that week, would it be appropriate for our schedules to meet the afternoon of the 11th to conduct some of the business that we would not be able to?
Yeah. And I would recommend 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock meeting.
I think we can do it 3. We did it early last time because we had the PRCC.
I think there's some contract.
But we can decide on the
Yep.
3rd, probably what time we
Okay,
usually meet.
that's fine. Maybe we can apprise folks of the details that
We will meet, but we can figure out.
fair enough. Part of the discussion might be around whether we are, and we can again address this fully on the 3rd, but whether we are prepared to start some interviews that week. That, if you want to put that on the agenda for discussion for the 3rd, I
Yeah,
think.
the 3rd
that
is,
will
other
give-
than the commissioners meeting, that's an open date for us. I mean, I don't know how vote,
What day?
which is a Wednesday, December 3rd.
Yeah.
We're beginning at 9 o'clock.
Maybe we can have an executive session that day to go through the application,
Yep.
decide who we want.
Yeah. And that would follow the commissioners meeting, I would assume?
Right, but remember, the probate court needs the space. That's part of the reason that we're starting early.
Well, we could conduct those elsewhere.
Yeah, there's a time constraint there. As you remember, I've got a meeting that I'm at, so by 11 o'clock, we need to be concluded so I can run that other meeting.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
9 to 11 is what I have available that day.
And that's the commission meetings at 9, so it would follow right after that, it's short. You anticipated?
I have a meeting at 10 o'clock Central Time that I have to run,
Yeah.
so I am only available until 11 o'clock that morning. That's why we moved that meeting
Right,
to
okay.
9. Okay?
Yeah.
When would commissioners like to have, excuse me, resumes? Mary Ann, I can.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen? You want to be able to review those prior
By
to
this weekend.
Okay. I think if we had packets by the weekend that we could look at, I don't know if they're in electronic form, or I think it'd probably be better to keep them.
Are you still with us?
Tony, are you still with us?
She's not.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you can inquire and find out between she and Mary Ann that they might be able to prepare for us, but
One PDF, okay.
Yeah.
it would be if people are comfortable. I think there's some level of confidentiality we've got to respect,
Absolutely.
so.
Just having gone through this with the city, what I would, like, if it works for you here, it says, you said there's about 30 now?
31.
I mean, when we got them to consultant before, he had reviewed them, ranked them, and then we also got all of them. But he had a recommendation who to interview, and then we did it independently, and we kind of arrived at the same conclusion. But if you could kind of do that, if you thought that would work.
I think Tony and I were gonna go on the other end, and we had a section of those that are
Yeah,
lower
yeah,
priority.
yeah,
Yeah.
one way, it's not.
You're gonna win all the group.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah.
Yes, but you need to see them all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good?
So we'll look forward to, if I'm understanding this, we'll look forward to getting that this weekend.
If that works for you, yeah.
If that is possible for you and the HR department to put together so that we have them to review over the weekend or before the December 3rd meeting, then we'll be able to come up with a strategy for you as to what we'd like to do.
Nobody's here Friday, but I think we can go right off today.
Other items, I see we've got a general update here. Are there some other? Are there some other items on your agenda that you want to bring up?
Sorry, I was
That's
talking
okay. That's
to
okay.
Mary Ann. No, there are not.
Okay.
I'm thankful for all the help to date, and I appreciate the department heads knowing that I need their help more than ever, so I think it's going well.
Okay. Other questions from the commission for the administrator? Okay, I guess we are ready to move on to the warrants.
I move we approve the warrants under Article H of today's agenda.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Other business to come before us from the commission. Okay. Mr. Treasurer, anything you have?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. We have no executive sessions required today?
Correct.
Okay. At this point, wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate your time, and we're ready to adjourn. Have a
Did you
motion?
prepare that for us?
So move.
Have a motion? Have a second?
Yeah, okay.
Vote and list of it. Happy Thanksgiving.